What up, dog?
How you doing?
I'm doing. How are you?
Good. Good. Just bring my mind real quick. Rest of the joint I had.
Yeah, well, it's only a matter of time for me.
I feel that.
Yeah, I don't get out. I don't get out of here till 6. So,
6. Solid.
but definitely better believe that's the first thing I go to.
Oh yeah, man. Stuff be stressful every day. Every day, new stresses. But you gotta find a way to balance through all that.
Yeah, and that's sort of my balancing act. Working with.
Yeah,
I mean, cannabis.
yeah, I feel that.
I got a fucking good ass deal at Skunk Masters this week. And by
Where
Skunk Masters,
yeah.
where I bought a quad and 3 grams of pre roll for
Okay.
66.
That's not bad.
Fucking hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I'll be going to Tradecraft over there.
Where?
Right there by Skunk Masters in Port Hueneme over there.
Uh-huh.
Tradecraft Farms. It's like literally the next corner over.
No shit. Okay.
They got fire deals over there. Yeah, speaking of which, shout out Tradecraft Farms.
I need a the only reason I'm going to Skunk Masters because they're the only ones that have presidential pre-rolls
Oh, okay.
and the XXX ones. Man, that's
Oh,
just fucking dope. And I can have that going for like 7 days.
word.
Yeah. It's
All
like
right.
resin with keef and uh hash in it. Let's go.
Does it have like some on the outside too?
No, it's just all inside.
On the inside, okay. You gotta
But
try
like,
they're called a fried chicken.
no. Oh
I
shit.
have all that like on the outside too. So for real, it set off smoke alarms and all that.
I'll try it. Did they sell it over at your place?
Over there, they sell them. I've seen them before, but like the best one I had, I was out in San Diego visiting some family, and they put me on.
No.
David Becerra, cost 249.
So, thank you for taking time today. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, you're welcome, man. Looking forward to getting to know you a little better.
Yeah.
So, tell me about yourself. How did you get into the game?
Yeah. So I always loved music. I attribute that to like my whole family growing up, my mom's grandparents. They love listening to oldies and whatnot. My mom, she sings. She has like a really beautiful voice. So as a kid coming up, me and my brother, we were in like choir. We did like praise dancing, all the things. I was a drummer at our church. And that's when I really started like falling in love with music, when I was able to like play the instrument and know how it worked. And drums was the first thing I fell in love with. Next right now is a saxophone.
Dude, the saxophone is my favorite instrument, period.
Yeah, by far. It has such a beautiful sweet tune to it. But yeah, so that's when I'm gonna be learning how to play. My girl got me like a recorder. There's like a flute and a saxophone. I got to start practicing more on that. Yeah, so mostly I wrote like poetry and stuff, did spoken word. In high school, I was part of this program called AAMI, which is African American Male Initiative. And we'll put on like talent shows and stuff like that. So for one of the talent shows, I went up there and I performed a poem that I wrote. It was really a spoken word. I really like that. I like the looseness with spoken word. You don't have to make every single thing rhyme because you still get to be fully creative and it's not just based on the rhythm and stuff like that. So doing that, and then I got to college and I like show like my poems and like spoken words to people. And then I'll get the same response, like, oh, that sounds like it could be a song. That sounds like it could be a song. You should make music. And I'm like, like I ain't never actually made music, but I love music. Definitely helps keep me like sane and keep my head level. So what was it? Then I would start freestyling at parties we would go to. So we'll be at like a little CI party or whatever, and we'll have our own little section, chilling, doing my thing. And then I'll have like a group of people that just surrounds us. And then I'll just be rapping over whatever beat the DJ put on. It don't matter. So it could be a techno, EDM, country, put a fire beat on, I do my thing. So I started doing that. And then Then I got plugged with this other dude, this dude Henry I know. He plugged me with this dude named John, and John heard me freestyle and stuff like that. Henry told him I did music, and then John was like, "Yo, let's do a tape together." And I was like, I'm down. Like, gives me a chance to actually, get into a studio and showcase my talent and do things like that. So he showed me a couple beats that he made. I picked a good like handful. I believe I had like 7 or 8 we picked. And then that's where What You Want From Me was born. So that's my first EP, and I did that with John and Common, which I've done a lot more projects with Common, and I got one coming up with him as well. And ever since then, I've just been making music. What You Want From Me dropped in 2019. And then I dropped like a couple singles after that. And then right now I just got some music I'm sitting on until I drop some more.
That's crazy. That's dope, man. It's funny how like my love for music comes from church as well.
Yeah.
And it's funny how a lot of people, how church has truly inspired a lot of musicians.
Yeah.
Whether or not they stuck down that same road or not is not what I'm debating, but just that, because for me that was my safe place.
Right.
I had a lot of tragedy growing up, and having going to church and being able to just get yourself lost in the music, that was my first true musical experience. And then I didn't look back. I wasn't patient enough to learn an instrument, and not a good singer, but I guess this would be my contribution to it, of something I love so much. So
Yeah.
it's always good. It's always an interesting situation when you hear, church.
Yeah. People bring up church, and I feel like with a lot of musicians that I follow and like rock with heavily, like some of their stories also begin with church, and I'm like, yeah, like you said, church is like that safe space where you're supposed to go and feel like you can express yourself at the same time, be in the house of the Lord and then showcase your talent that He obviously gave you. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't sing or anything, like what you're doing right now, like you said, this is how you're contributing to music in itself.
Well, how do you end up crafting your sound now? Is it just, was there any trial and error? Was there ever a time that you fucked up
Oh yeah,
or moved in a different direction and had to adjust yourself? What were some of
yeah,
the
man.
struggles?
For me, so I love the freestyle. So writing was always a challenge to me. So I will legit, like, I got homies, you can ask them. I will legit like write songs, show them the song, they're like, that's hard, and then literally destroy the whole song. Cause I'm like, I don't like it. And writing was always a challenge for me. And I've been practicing writing for like the last like 3 years, like really trying to like hone it and focus on what I'm writing, because that's my biggest challenge with music. And then finding the right beat, because you can't just put out anything. And I don't want to put out something I don't personally rock with. So if I hear a beat or I hear a sound and it don't make me want to move, or it don't make me like, okay, like, yeah, like you saying something, or I feel like it's nourishing my soul, then I won't put it out. And a lot of stuff that I may like personally, like, other people don't like. I remember one of the first times I was really excited about this song, and I showed my homie, and I was like, yeah, bro, like you rock with it, like you feel me, you fucks with it. He's like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know if I had to be there when you was making it, but like, I don't get it. And for me, that was a big deal, because I don't like when people just tell me that. Like, when I want the constructive criticism. So when he told me that kind of like made me even rewire like my whole creative process. Because before, I'll just listen to the beat, okay, freestyle to it, find like what I want to talk about, and then go from there. But I've had times where I'll write something, I'll rock with the beat so heavy in the beginning, I'll write something, and then all of a sudden, like, I just don't like it. So that's always a challenge with me. And then my biggest fear is throwing away something that I may not personally like, but could have done something for somebody else.
FOMO.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
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 That's how I am too when I write my comedy. It's like, oh man, what happens if somebody else comes and does something similar and then I regret this? And
Yeah.
just because
It's
my delivery was different.
speaking of that, like me and my homie David, he's one of the people I like started freestyling with when I was in college. And we were like freestyle. We came up with this song called No More Parties in LA. This story, oh my God. We literally came up with it. We didn't drop it. We were just doing it in the dorms, you feel me? Like something super low key. And then like not too long, like after that, Kendrick and Kanye dropped No More Parties in LA. And I'm like, bro, that's just like how the transfer of energy goes and in the world. Cause like we didn't release that song, but we put like that energy and all that out there. And then next, Kanye and Kendrick dropped the exact same song.
Bro, I am with you on that shit, right? So I mean, I have too many like instances to even just name one. That's how many it happens. But I'm of the belief that there's a collective consciousness with all of us as human beings. And sometimes you're attached to it.
Yep.
You can read and you can sort of feel what's going on, and sometimes you can't. And that's why I have that a fear of missing out, because once you think of it, if you don't grab it, it's not yours no more. And it's gonna move on.
Yeah.
And they did a science experiment on an island with monkeys. You might have heard it, where they have potatoes, right? But all the potatoes that are on the island are full of like sand and dirt. And so many of the monkeys, that was all the food that they had, they weren't eating it. And one monkey on a different island ended up taking it and washing it off and started eating it. Then every monkey on all the other islands, I think there are 5 islands, started doing the same thing.
Okay.
So, and that's why I know as a human being, we're so fucking dumb. Like we're so worried about politics and fucking race and religion that we're missing it. We're missing the human experience.
Yeah. I agree, man, because especially like for me when I'm at a concert or I'm like at a show or something, everybody they recording, everybody got their phones out. You still watching what you're supposed to be there live in person for through a screen. And what I try to do to be more aware of that is like I record like my little pieces or whatever, I'm still gonna record and then I'm gonna actually watch the show. Or even if I'm recording, I'm still watching. So the video might turn out maybe a little shitty because you obviously can't see. I just pointed it into the crowd, but you hear that energy, and I get to fully experience it. So yeah, man. I got another example too. I wrote a song called 50 Shades of Mellow, and then literally after I finished that song, then again another song not released. I'm listening to Sada Baby, right? I look up Sada Baby, I see his new album, and then on there I see 50 Shades of Red. And I'm like, what the hell? Like all these like coincidences just keep intertwining. And it always has to do with something with either music or something very creative. So I think with the creative space that everyone has, the reason why sound and we can all vibe to something so beautifully and uniquely at the same time is because it's all, intertwined, interlinked with all of us.
I think there might be something extra special about you though too. Like for that to be happening, you have to be in touch with something, correct? I mean, you would think maybe a closer relationship with the universe or source or even God, that you're able to share the same wavelength as some of these greater, or these other musicians.
Yeah, that's a valid point too. Because I've been trying to definitely focus more on like my own energy and what I create and put into the world. Especially like being big on just learning about the different chakras. Like my girl's really big on it. I used to pronounce it wrong for the longest of time, and she corrected me one time. I said it wrong in a song that I wrote called On My Way with my homie Chris. And she heard it, she was like, "Do you mean chakras?" I was like, "Wait, that's what I said." She's like, "No, you said chakra." I said, "Oh shit." So I had to re-record it, finish it, and it's funny because every time she hear that part, she has me shit for it. But nah, that knowledge that I'm gaining from learning all these different things, and my girl, she has a really good, knowledge on crystals and energies and stuff like that. So she helps me a lot. She's been trying to help me like, remain more grounded. And with being more grounded, staying more in tune with the earth and my own emotions within myself is bringing out a lot more in me, especially creatively.
Virtual call 249.
I'm like writing songs that I typically don't write. You feel me? And with that, it comes to challenges. Like I was saying earlier, I don't feel like I'm the greatest writer. I can freestyle my ass off. I'm not the greatest writer. So with writing different types of music that I'm not used to even freestyling to as well is really helping me like open up because it's making me think about it more.
How do you think about it? Music. Do you think of, oh, this is a hook, and then have like a section, these are hooks? Like, because I write down things,
Mm-hmm.
And I keep a notebook by my side at all times. At any given moment, I have a notebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I were to write a song, it's mostly parody songs and talking shit about my friends. So we do it as on our show,
Right.
the Red Light Show. And so if I find a hook, like, oh, that's good, I'm gonna write it down. I'll write it down. How does your brain work, and how do you compartmentalize each section of your art?
So I noticed when like I write my music, I always come up with like the hook first.
Good.
And
Yeah.
talking to this one OG, and he was telling me like, with coming up with music and trying to write, the hook was always hard for him. So he'll always come up with it last. So he would focus on writing his verse. So what I do is like, I listen to the song and I try and find like my rhythm on it, right? Once I find my rhythm, then depending on if I freestyle a chorus or if I freestyle an actual verse, then that's kind of how I decide how I'm going to do it. So typically I write the chorus first, and then when I go into my first verse, I'll take like some of the chorus and kind of help string that on, especially if that's what I started with initially. And then there's times literally where I'll take the chorus and turn the whole chorus into a whole verse and then come up with it later. So I feel like it kind of just depends on the song for me personally, and which makes it hard. that makes it hard at the same time, I feel, because what I'm saying as a chorus could easily be a verse, and I tend to make it a little too complicated. So I try, if I notice I'm making the chorus like really complicated and it's really complex, I just turn that into a verse and then try to make the chorus, like the hook, something simple that they can sing to or like just repeat easily.
So, yeah, and maybe that's another thing too. Maybe your freestyle is like also a part of your connection with something, because you're just grabbing it out of the air. That means you're opening up a part of your brain that maybe most people aren't. It'll be interesting, like a good experiment if you can get an MRI while you freestyle.
That would be dope. Like if they did like a case study or something on people, their ways when they're freestyling, and just to see like what parts get more activated. Because I noticed for me when I freestyle, I'll feel a certain part of like my head either start to hurt or I feel like a lot of strain coming from one area. And I'll notice it like when I'm freestyling about like something really like heavy and like intense and like really deep, or like I just won't stop freestyling. So I like would think like, oh, maybe it's because the lack of air, the oxygen going into my brain. But I'm like, nah, like I still take my breaths. I'll still like stop and whatnot. But I feel like I literally tap into something when I freestyle. And I feel like I'm slowly starting to tap into that when I'm writing. Because I would notice instances where I'll be doing the most random thing and I'll just instantly get inspired. And I need to write. Like, I need to write. Where's my phone? If I don't grab my phone, hit my notepad, then like it's gone. But how it started was a freestyle. What you want from me? One of my popular songs. That was a freestyle initially.
Damn, that's a great one too.
It's
probably my favorite song, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I appreciate that. I got a lot more that's coming out, and the ones that are coming out, they all pull from like life experiences, shit that's just going on with me. I try to make my music as true to myself as possible, because I don't never want to put out, like I said, nothing that's bullshit or something that I don't like myself, and I don't like music I can't relate to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, what does it look like for you in the next 6 months? Like, what is your plan? I mean, it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
And at this moment, you should probably have a plan or have an idea of a plan that you're gonna implement in the next coming year. What does that look like?
So I got 3 tapes right now lined up that's gonna be dropping. The first one's called Mellow World. It's an EP. I'm gonna first drop a single. I'm looking to drop a single late January, early February. My birthday's in February, so I might just drop Mellow World on my birthday, or just around that time, just to help bring in the celebrations. And then the Mellow World EP, that's gonna be like about 4 or 5 songs. Excuse me. And then one thing I need to really do to be able to have a better presence is my music video. So we're gonna cut some visuals with the Mellow World EP. We already got the first music video for the song Mellow World itself. That song is just about me like living my life and like traveling. The Mellow World EP actually is an EP I wrote during the pandemic, obviously, but this time I was in quarantine because I ended up actually getting COVID. So while I had it, once I like started recovering and I could actually like breathe, you feel me, and be able to stay conscious long enough, I started like just writing music because I had to get through the time. I think I was on quarantine for about 3 weeks, and then it took like a whole month for the whole cycle of Corona and everything to get out of my system. So after like that 3rd week, that's when I put together the Mellow World EP, and that one talks about like shit I did after I got done quarantining and got over COVID, myself like as a man, especially with stuff like I've experienced like through high school, brings out more. I like to talk about like situation that's going on in the world. So I got one song on there that's called Solitude right now. And I got my homie Chris Berry being featured on that. And that has to do with being a Black man in America and, you know, how laws just aren't created to be useful for people of color, especially like our prison system and things like that. So that song's coming out. I got a couple things. I got a song called Black Angel in there that's going to be dropping. That was definitely a love song. Wrote that about my girl as well. That song was a challenge. I can't lie. That one it was a challenge because I wanted to make sure something that was beautiful. You know, I didn't want it to be something that wasn't true or something that everybody makes on the day to day. And a lot of what's in the song is very unique to me and her. So she'll mostly get a lot of like the references and shit that other people won't. But yeah, Mellow World is just a small little piece. Then after that, I'm working on another little EP with my homie Chris Berry. He's producing the beats, and then we're gonna have some tracks on there together. That I'm thinking that one's gonna come out summerish time. It's gonna be pretty close after the Mellow World EP drops. And then after that, I have my big project, Dark Knight Mellow. That one it's evolving into an album, I would say. But I want to have that be like a nice series that just keeps going. And now when Dark Knight Mellow is something deep.
Well, let's connect when you have that album out.
Yeah.
We'll go, send me a release, early copy, and then we'll do a whole interview just on the album.
Okay.
Like diving deep into songs, and we'll put it in the magazine.
Okay, I'm with it.
And if if the video, if our interview goes well, online, then we'll figure out what we're going to do. We'll do something a little more special than just an article in there.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the work on it.
We're going to have something coming up, and we're going to have a local show at the Ventura Theater in the spring, maybe March or February. All proceeds go to charity. Right. We ask each artist to sell tickets for it, $10 a piece. Not that big of a deal, but it's also a good way to get yourself footage on a bigger stage and really give back to community. Right. And it's fucking the Ventura Theater, bro. It's fucking iconic. If you live here, everyone wants to rock with that stage. So if you're interested, hit me up after this, and the only thing I can think of is your crowd pretty not rowdy, or because these people are still like scarred from 90s, man. Where
Yeah,
every
nah,
time there's a hip hop act, there's a fight.
nah, we're not doing none of that. My people, we bringing love. We bringing love, vibes, and energy. That's all we bring in. We ain't trying to fight nobody. We ain't trying to do nothing the extras. You feel me? It's just all love. It's all love. Unless somebody come disrespectful. Other than that, we not,
I know. I
we
got
not
you.
causing no issues, but we're not scared of the funk either.
Well, my man, I appreciate you. It was awesome to get to know you for a little bit, and chat it up with you, talk about who you are and what you stand for. And you're a different person to me in my eyes. That you're not just an artist. I think I get a special feeling when I'm around you. I was only around you once, but
Yeah, that's true. We was only together one time.
but I can feel it,
Appreciate that.
Do you know who what's that guy's name? Junior Leto is, by any chance? Okay. He's another person that gives me that feeling.
Okay. Yeah,
And there's something special about him too. So I find myself gravitating towards those type of people who are who I feel like they have some sort of connection to outside of this world. And I think you're one of those people.
I appreciate that. No, that's love right there.
Man. This will probably go up on Wednesday.
Okay.
Because I fucked up, dude. I had an interview on Thursday and didn't record it. So
Oh, okay.
yours was Thursday.
No, you're good. I want to say though, I appreciate you, especially when we first initially met. I just happened to be there because I was gonna work on the song with Common. But yeah, no, I appreciate this opportunity to be on your platform, just to let people get to know me better, know who I am, know about my music, and yeah, man. Because not too many people show that love, and I feel like it's genuine coming from you. Because you didn't have to.
Well, I appreciate it, bud. And you're welcome. And you're a great dude.
Appreciate that.
Hey, if you're not busy on the 8th, you want to record with us for one of our shows?
On the 8th? Yeah.
The show, the red light show. Are you aware of that show?
The red light, nah.
Have you seen anything from Adaptive when he's rapping and there's like it's white and there's like frames on there and then
I did see that.
That's the red light show.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm with that.
So if you want to perform on there, we do 3 songs and an interview.
Oh, yeah, on the 8th, yep. That's a weekend I'm off. I'll be out here. Pop-up show I'm doing on the 5th, and then that'd be perfect on the 8th for the new year.
Let me write you down.
Ooh. Do you do that out here in Oxnard or in Cam?
In Oxnard.
Solid.
Okay. Let me just write you down. I'll fill it in. And I'll get with you about the time. Like right here, dude, this is like one of my, like, you know how you say that you just write down something that might be for a hook. So my jokes would be like, this is my punchline, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. It's, I rather sleep in a bunk bed under Oprah. So I'll use that as like I'll use that as like so I build around that.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
I just wrote it right by it. So all right, King. It was awesome to fucking chat it up and chop it up with you. And we'll work together in the future. We'll have some awesome shit.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to create some beautiful shit with you.
All right, my man. Take care of yourself.
All right, bro.
Thank you.